I wanted to talk a little bit about arrays before we went into this craziness of object-oriented programming and hundreds of things, because we're going to keep all the hundreds of objects that we instantiate in an array. We're actually going to keep it in something called an array list, but I haven't really talked about arrays at all in class. So take a look over here. And an array is just a collection, like a huge collection of integers or different types of variables and stuff. So this is how you would initialize an array of integers. You see, my age is 5, 10, 35. And then here's how you might initialize an array of strings. And this is kind of neat. And the way that you would access the different things, so each element is separated in an array by a comma. And the way you'd access different things is this is indexed 0, and this is index 1, and this is index 2 and 3, and so on. So this array has 4 elements in it, and they go from 0 to 3. This array has 5 elements in it, and they go from 0 to 4. So if I wanted to print the element named 1 in my phrases, that's this one. So this is the 0th element. Okay, and then this is the first, second, third. If I put a 4 in here, I'm going to get an index out of bounds. Watch this. And I press it and I run it, and it's going to, you can't see, I have to put this over here. Up here, you can see index out of bounds, exception 4. So it means that my index into the array is out of bounds. We don't have 4 elements in this array in my phrases. We've only got from 0, 1, 2, and 3. All right, so if I wanted to print the first one, I would put a 0 there. And then my age is 3. That's going to print, what's that going to print? Guess. Is it going to print this one? No, it's going to print that. All right, so watch what happens when I run this code. So hello, because it's the 0th element, which is the first element. And then 65 is the 0, 1, 2, 3, third element, right? So you kind of get an idea of what's going on there. And usually you could use a for loop to iterate through an array and do stuff. So if I wanted to print out all of my phrases, I could do this. Watch this, right? So I could go for int I equals 0, I is less than, and then I want to do the length of phrases, so that would be my phrases dot length, and then I plus plus. That means I'm going to continue to increment. It's going to start at 0, and it's going to go to 1. It's going to go to 2, all the way until it gets to length. Well, before it gets to length, it's going to stop. Okay, and then I could do print line, my phrases, and then in here I will put I. So it's 0 first, and then 1, and then 2, and then 3, okay? And then if I run this, I will probably get an error because I've probably forgotten an ending parenthesis there, okay? And if I run this, it's printing out everything. It starts at the 0, then it goes to 1, then it goes to 2, and then it goes to 3, and it prints out all that. How would you randomly print out a phrase, huh? That would be pretty cool, too, to do. So again, that was called iterating through an array to do all of them. What we're going to have is an array of cars, and we're going to iterate through the cars and move them right later on. But this is phrases. And so if I wanted to just randomly access an element of an array, I might do this. So I'm going to do just print line, and then I'm going to do my phrases. And then in here, I'm not going to put a 0, 1, or 2, or 3, or 4. I'm going to randomly choose one, right? So my random choice can be a 0, 1, 2, or 3. Okay, and we know that my phrases.length will resolve to 4, so I can do that. So I can write random, and then I can put just my phrases.length in here. And then that random number will go between 0 and 4, non-inclusive of 4. But there's one thing wrong here. See how it's saying type mismatch, float does not match int? It means that inside of the square brackets for accessing an array, you see that you use square brackets to access something in an array. Inside there has got to be an integer, cannot be a float. Remember, random returns a float. So in order to make an integer out of that, you just write the word int, and then you encase it in parentheses. So that should work now. I'm missing missing something here. Inside here. It's got to be inside there. Got an extra parenthesis. So again, the index into an array is always inside square brackets, and then all this other stuff is just different function calls. So those are in parentheses. So if I run this, I'm going to get a random access into that array every time I run it. So much for random though, huh? I got 2 hellos, but now here's an awesome stuff like that. Okay, good array practice.